Good morning, everybody. It's Cindy. I hope you're having a great, it's Saturday morning for me here in cold Maine. It's about 23 degrees out with a blustery wind that's making it about 10 degrees. So I'm just staying in my studio today. I'm not going anywhere. I hope it's warm and sunny where you are. We've had an awful winter here. What I'm working on today is my junk journal idea book. And because we're getting ready to sew in our signatures, I wanted to show you what I've done so far so that if you're crafting along with me and doing this project, you can be ready for sewing those signatures in. So I wanted to show you a little bit about what what I've done. I am ready to sew my signatures in, and if you want to get to this point, I'll give you some tips. In regards to the March kit, you are getting that lovely bookbinders kit, the awl and the needles and the waxed thread and everything you need to sew in your signatures. That's going out on Monday, which would be March 10th. And I just wanted to quickly say in that regard that Patreon is a little difficult in terms of how they bill people. So if you joined on, let's say, February 1st, then your next payment comes out March 1st, and I can ship your kit out. But I do have several people that joined on the 30th of the month, and so they're not going to get billed until March 30th. And so unfortunately, your kits go out in April because people can come and go month to month. I never know. I have to see that you're still a member for that month in order to receive the kit. So I wish they just billed everybody the same day of the month. It would be a lot easier for all of us, and you would get your kits sooner if you joined at the last of the month. But I just wanted to explain that. So most of you our kits are going out on March 11th, but if your payment comes out later, then you will receive your kit the day after your payment comes through. And I'm sorry that it has to be that way. But I didn't realize that was happening, and last month I shipped out two kits and people's credit cards were declined and they got the kits anyway. So I have to be a little more careful with that, I guess. Okay, enough of the administrative stuff. I want to show you what I've done so far. If you want to be ready to sew in your signatures, go through the videos. We've done the book cover, and look, I finally put my my junk journal idea book cover on. So we did the book cover and the spine and the tassel. We did some. Let me find my pile over here. I have my pile ready of different things that we made in the different classes with the antique paper kit that you got 1 month. That's already in a pile over here. I have something I'm not going to use, but I wanted to mention it to you, is if you are, I'm not decorating my inside cover because I like this. I love this little book plate here, Fear God and Fear Not, and it's got some signatures on it. Christmas 1915. I really love all that, and I didn't want to cover it. But if the inside of your book, if you're not happy with it, you can take some kind of paper, like this is marbled paper from a kit in my shop, and you can cover. Well, let me just fold this. See how pretty that would look on the inside and back covers, the front and back covers. So this would be the time to put something on your inside cover if you want to do that. Also, for March, I gave you a kit of book plates. So if you want something like this, I should have done this one because that one's so pretty. I should have done that in the kit. But if you want something like this, you can print that kit out, and you could do some. This is kind of large for my. I'm doing a smaller book here, but you could put on your decorative paper and then have a really cool book plate. This one's a little smaller. So you could put one of these book plates. You could also use this larger one for your inside cover and put that on there. These are ones that I actually made from postcards. I have a video on my YouTube channel as to how I made my own little book plates. Um, so these are from actual antique books. So you could put one of those on your inside cover. So what I did to prepare my signatures is I did any sewing, anything that I wanted to do over at the sewing machine, that needs to be done before we put our signatures in. So I'll show you a few of the things that I did. And obviously you don't have to have a sewing machine, you don't have to sew. I just really like that look, and for this book I wanted lots of things kind of sticking out, and I think it's going to look really really nice because I'm going for more of a grungy look. So if you remember the beautiful, I actually cut into this. It was hard to do because it's so beautiful. But I cut into this and took a piece of it, and I have an envelope that I tea stained, and I just glued a piece of this snippet roll to the front of the envelope. Hopefully you can see that that's the, here, let me do that. So this is the envelope part, and I just took Fabri-Tac and glued this onto it. And this is the time to get some envelopes if you want to put envelopes in your journal, because I usually put them on like this. So then when you flip it over, you have either a flap or a pocket. So this would be the time to grab some envelopes and kind of nestle them into your signatures if you want to have envelopes in. And then I just took another little piece of this and I sewed it to the top of this page as a tab. So I just folded it over, and now I have a cool little tab at the top. Let me move these out of the way. I'll do a signature at a time. And then these are just papers, just printables that when I'm designing digital kits, I often have, I print probably 100 faulty ones before I get the kit just right. So, but I use them. And I also sell them in my shop for people who can't, I de-stash. Anyway, these are just different printables in my shop, as well as some coffee stained paper. And that's my first signature, and I had told you before I like to have about 5 sheets per signature. So that's the first one, and I always think about which one do I want when you first open the book, and I think this is my favorite one, so that's going to be my first signature. And then just a little more sewing. This is a pocket that we did in class with the sheet music, and I put it through the sewing machine. We folded this up and then did some little, what would you call those? We used the round punch and made some little things. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, we did that, and I just sewed the sides to close this, so that when it goes in, things don't fall out the side. And then I just took a piece of that really pretty trim that I sent you, and I literally just bunched it up like this and stuck it in my sewing machine, and I think that turned out really really pretty. The other side, my sewing machine jammed up, and I'm gonna probably want to cover that up, but that's easy to do. I'm not worried about that. And then I have some of the papers that I sent you in the kit: sheet music, ledger paper, coffee stain paper, and book pages, just in here. That's my second signature. This one, I took the clusters. We made these clusters 1 month, and we also made this, where it's folded, this 12 by 6, I think it is, sheet of paper that we folded over, and I used a punch on the edge, and then it goes like this, and I just sewed one of the clusters on the edge of it, and then when we get to decorating, I'll decorate this. But I love the way this turned out. I love these clusters. Okay, and so that's going to end up going on there. And doesn't that look nice? Then I just took a piece of antique fabric that I have in my stash, and I think, and you all got a small piece of it in one of your kits. And I just used a decorative stitch, the one that I really like that's on my sewing machine. And I just sewed this onto the paper and continued with the sewing down here. And then we've got, when you open it, we've got sewing on the other side too. And then I took again this trim that I'm just loving this. It's sheer, so you can kind of still see through. And I love the frazzled edges there. And I just made like a ruffle. As it was going through my sewing machine, I just folded it and kept sewing. So I just did that. And I put a doily in here. This would be the time to put a doily in if you're doing something like that. And then these are just a variety of pages. I think I have more than 5 here. I need to fix this. I think yeah, these are all out of order, but that's okay. Then this that we made in one of the classes, I just glued it on the page, or taped it actually with double-sided tape, but you could sew through that and sew it on too if you wanted. You also could take this and take another piece of, another piece of some kind of fabric and put it on here. Not that one. This one's too big, but I think you'll get the idea. You could kind of tuck it under and sew down through the whole thing. That would have looked nice if you don't want just that tab. And just more papers from my digital kits in my shop. Old newspapers. And some of that butcher paper that we worked with. I stamped some really pretty flowers on this because I wanted, because this is pink, I wanted some pinks in here. I didn't want everything to be just various shades of cream and brown, so I wanted little pops of color. And we did this in a class. That was stenciling. This is the ledger paper that we worked with, and we just folded it up and folded it in half and made a pocket with it. I went through and sewed the sides and the bottom just to secure it a little more. Doesn't have to be done though. And I love the look of cheesecloth hanging out of my book. If you recall, we put cheesecloth on the top and the bottom here, and I just really love that look because it's kind of soft but fun and funky and grungy at the same time. So I just took a strip of cheesecloth, cream colored. It's undyed cheesecloth, and I just because I don't like the bright white, so I have a bunch of that, and I just took a strip of it and sewed it on to a piece of paper. And this is something we made in class, I believe. And that is all the sewing I did. So then I put it in my book, and I did have a couple of pieces of paper that were sticking out that needed to be trimmed. So now I know that I have enough signatures and everything's going to fit in. I have things sticking out the top and the sides and the bottom like I really like, and all of my signatures are ready to be sewn in. So lastly, I just wanted to say that in the next video for this month, we will be sewing in our signatures, and I wanted to show you what I'm going to be teaching from. I learned bookbinding techniques from this book. This is my bookbinding Bible. This is a wonderful resource. It's called Non-Adhesive Binding Books Without Paste or Glue. It's by Keith Smith. And um, you just would not believe. I mean, I have only not even gotten through half of it in the years that I've been doing this, and every single one of these is a different stitch. Oh my word, there are so many bookbinding stitches that you can do. Um, yeah, this is going to be a lifetime of learning for me, but that's fun. So I'm going to teach you from this book. I mean, this isn't his method, but I like his way of teaching. I'm going to do a pamphlet stitch, and I'm going to show you three ways: a 3-hole, a 4-hole, and a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. We're going to do three different ones, and I'm going to break it down and make it really easy for you, because I think that sewing in the signatures is the point when people really start to dislike making junk journals. They get stressed out about the sewing, make lots of mistakes, and get frustrated. And it really doesn't have to be that way. I'm gonna try to make this really easy for you so that you enjoy it. I'm gonna put the link to this book below, and it is going to be an affiliate link, so I'll get like 2 cents if you buy the book, but every little bit helps. But if you're interested in really delving into to different types of sewing in your signatures, then I have many, many bookbinding books. This is the one. If you only want to buy one, this is the one I would recommend. So great. In the next video, we will start sewing in these signatures, and then in the months to come after that, we're going to go through and start decorating our pages, and we're going to have a wonderful idea book at the end. If you're just joining, make sure you go over to Patreon and look at the collections tab, and you'll see the collections tab called Junk Journal Idea Book. All of the videos that you've missed so far are there, so you can catch up if you want to join us. I hope that you all head over to Patreon and share your projects and share your ideas for your idea book, and I will see you later on this month for sewing in our signatures. Your kits are on the way, and I'll see you soon. Bye.